Hi, welcome back to yoga. So, bringing yoga into our daily lives. We're going to work on the 5 yamas. And the 5 yamas are Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha. This is the 5 yamas. And as I speak about the 5 yamas, we'll start today with Ahimsa, non-harming or non-violence. Today we learn how to practice Ahimsa, non-violence. So we make a conscious effort to rise above the urge to judge, criticize, and compare. Be kind always, keeping in mind we're all just doing the best we can. We can practice seeing the divine in all things, being able to receive beauty in all things, even the things we think are disgusting, unpleasant, or disagreeable with us. Take a moment and see things you haven't seen before within what you previously believed to be unpleasant. All right, we'll start off with our sound Ram. So we are going to start off at the root chakra, whether we're sitting or standing. So if we're sitting, we can relax, open knees, sitting on the glutes. If we're standing, we're aligned with our joints from hips, knees, ankles, toes, point forward. We can go ahead and bring left hand underneath the right hand, palms face upward, and the thumbs come together. Now we'll just start off here with our breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And you could keep the eyes closed, or you could open them and find a place to gaze at. We are going to come into the sound Lam for our root chakra. So let's go ahead and inhale to Lam. Inhale to Lam. Inhale to Lam. Just taking a couple of deep breaths here, noticing the vibration from within that we have created. Feeling grounded. Whether we're sitting or standing, let's go ahead and inhale and just bring the arms up. Stretching up overhead, and exhale, release back down. Bring the chin down into the chest. Let's inhale and bring the arms up and over. And exhale, releasing down. Lifting the chin up off the chest, bringing the hands up and over. And exhale, releasing back down. Let's start to step it out. So those of us that are on the ground, maybe coming up and starting to step out, not quite into our straddle, but just a little bit more than shoulder width distance apart. Rock back and forth for a moment. Knees are soft, our toes point forward. We have alignment, hips all the way out to the side. And bring hands to hips. Finding the breath, as the breath is the most important thing we have. find a still point as we've stopped rocking here. Starting to tighten our abs, our core. Let's exhale, keep a flat back, hinge at the hips, and just draw forward so we have a flat back. Knees are soft, and our head, crown lengthens forward as our tailbone back lengthens back, keeping that nice flat back. Taking another deep breath, let's extend the arms out to the side, palms face down. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to bring one hand down in front of the same toes as we bend that knee. Keep the glutes hinging back. And let's open that other arm, lengthening upward. And lengthening that leg as well. Then let's exhale, come through center, bend both knees. Bring it all the way to the other side. Bring the hand down and lift and lengthen again with the opposite arm. And let's exhale. So we have 2 to 3 breaths so far. Inhale. We're coming to 1-to-1 breath now. Exhale. Hinging. Scooting to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Softening those knees. Switching sides. Inhale. Opening up like we would for windmill. Exhale. Bringing it down. Switching sides. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go ahead and soften both knees, find center. Maybe starting to heel toe the legs out just a little bit further. If we need blocks, we can bring blocks to put our hands on. To lengthen through the back, lengthen through the neck. Taking nice deep breaths. We still have micro bend in the knees. Let's go ahead and walk the hands to one side. Walk the hands to the other side. And let's bring it back to center. As we bring it back to center, let's heel toe the legs further in. So starting to bring those legs in until we feel like we have knee-ankle alignment. Our knees are hinging. Our toes point the same direction as our knees. Let's bring our hands to our knees and start to hinge back up. Using those core muscles, our glutes are still hinged back. So we hinge our hips and our glutes move back. Knees point the same direction as our toes. We're lengthening up through the torso. Let's inhale and start to bring it out into sun pose as the palms face upward and extend out to the sides. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to hinge all the way up. Hands on or hand on hip. Let's inhale, bring that other arm up. And exhale. Allow it to stretch that same direction. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, release. So we still have that shoulder width stance or wider stance, the toes pointing out to the sides, switching hand on hip. Let's inhale, lengthen up, and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale. And let's exhale, release that. So while we have our feet out to the sides, we're still ready for our moonflowers and sunflowers. So let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, palms face forward for moonflower, hinge back, knees, hips, elbows to the side, palms facing forward. Let's inhale, lengthen up. And And exhale, sunflower, big circle, hinging back again. Option to keep length here in the torso and not hinge forward as we come all the way back up. Let's exhale back into our moonflower, elbows to the side, palms forward, hinging back. Inhale. Now this time I'm going to show you an option for our sunflower as we exhale. Instead of keeping alignment or keeping lengthening up here, we can hinge forward at the hips, still keep alignment and a flat back as we sweep closer to the floor, opening a little bit more into the inner thighs. Let's go ahead and inhale and exhale. Moonflower. Inhale. And exhale, sunflower. Option to hinge forward, or the other option is to stay lengthened here. Inhale. Exhale, moonflower. Inhale. Exhale, sunflower. Option to hinge forward or stay lengthened. Inhale. And let's exhale, release. Coming back to hip width distance apart. If you're standing on a mat, you can come to the back part of the mat. Let's inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, hinge at the hips, keep the back flat, and start to hug the backs of the legs. Release the head, remember the knees are soft. You can release the hands here. And as we release the hands, either bring the hands to the shins or to the floor. Let's lengthen through the back. Press the heart forward, abs tuck in. And if you can, maybe even gazing forward for our monkey pose. Let's exhale, release. And we're gonna walk it all the way down into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, we can pedal out the feet here as we flatten through the back, lengthening from the arms, shoulder width distance apart, pressing the palms and fingers into the ground. Coming back to our breath. Let's go ahead and make our way into plank pose. Taking nice deep breaths here in plank pose as our abs are tight. Let's go ahead and lift one heel up. And release that. Let's lift the other heel up. And release that. Coming down to the knees. We're going to come all the way back into our child's pose. As we come all the way back, releasing the forehead on top of hands or arms. Coming back to the breath here as we inhale and exhale through the nose. And let's start to make our way up. And as we do, here we're going to use either a block or ball. You can always improvise. We're coming into our camel pose. So a block will go between the legs and about 1 to 2 inches above the knee. You can also use a ball. Still keeps our hip width distance apart here. Let's inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, release. Now as we keep stable here from hips to knees, let's inhale, lengthen up. And let's exhale. We're going to twist open to one side, extending arms, looking over the shoulder if you can, or option to bring the gaze forward. Let's inhale, lengthen back up. And exhale, moving to the opposite side. Option to gaze forward, to the side, or all the way back. Let's inhale, lengthen all the way up and over. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, twist. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And let's just exhale, coming back to center, hands to heart. And here we're going to start moving into our camel pose. So we have several options. Let's release the hands. We can make fists for wrists. Bring them right above the glutes, low back. Tighten those glutes as well as our inner thighs. We're using that block so that we're engaging our inner thighs, engaging our abs, engaging our glutes here, keeping that hip to knee alignment. Let's lift up through the heart. Bring the gaze up. So the other option is to bring the hands further down and continue to open up. Another option is to bring the gaze forward. Another option is to grab a hold of the heels behind us as the hips are forward. And you can look back. It's up to you. You can keep the hands right above the glutes. And let's go ahead and exhale. We're coming all the way up from camel. We're going to release that block if we had a blocker ball. And this time we're going to come into extended child's pose. So coming back into child's pose with an extension of our arms. Round through the back. And inhale, we lift the head. That's exhale and walk the hands to the side. Stretching all the way through our side body. We can release the head. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to walk all the way over to the other side, keeping those abs tucked in, keeping the heart forward, and keeping the shoulders squared as we reach over to the opposite side and release the head. Start to bring it back to center. We're going to lift all the way back up. And as we come to the knees, let's step one leg forward. And even use the toes to kind of crawl forward a little bit more because we want this knee to be back enough that we feel a stretch here. You want to feel the stretch in the groin area. And you don't want the knees surpassing our toes for alignment. We want the hips face forward. You can bring hands to the knee for our low lunge. Try to lengthen through the back as we roll the shoulders back, tuck those abs in, and bring the gaze forward. So for the EAC, we have a key word of the day. This is perceive. So if you're an EAC student, you can give me a text, perceive, with your name. Nice deep breaths here. Let's go ahead and start to release back. So how we're going to release back is just lengthen this leg. Let's bring our hands down. Knee can be soft, toes up. And we're finding very little weight on our fingertips. If you feel like you have more weight, maybe taking it to the knuckles. We're trying to roll the shoulders back, flatten the back, and then gently and slowly start to release the knee. And just allow the knee to relax and release with the breath on the exhales. One more breath and our partial splits. And let's exhale. Bring ourselves forward this time while we lunge. And then start to bring ourselves back and even take that leg back. Let's find our camel as we inhale, lengthen up over. And exhale, release. We're going to use the opposite leg now, stepping forward. Remember, as we step forward, we want to have length and stretch. So we're going to walk those toes or scrunch those toes and crawl forward with the toes. Knee then aligns with the ankle. And now my other knee is back and I'm stretching. My hips are forward facing. My abs are tucked in. Roll the shoulders back. You can bring hands to the leg. Nice deep breaths here. Let the shoulders relax. Let the heart move forward, lifting up and forward. focusing on the breath as we relax the muscles and allow them to open. And let's exhale. We're going to gently move back. So we're going to bring our hands to the ground and then start to slowly lengthen until the heel grounds and the toes come up. Remember, this knee can be soft. Hands don't have a lot of weight, so we can use fingertips or knuckles. Not a lot of weight. And then just come into a nice flat back as we exhale. We're starting to lengthen this leg and we're starting to bring the heart closer. Nice deep breaths in and out of the nose. One more breath here. And let's exhale. Start to press the sole of the foot down. Bring ourselves forward. As we bring ourselves forward, we're now moving all the way back. Bringing that leg. Coming all the way back. This time we're coming into a wide-legged extended child's pose. So glutes to heels, widen out those knees, and allow yourself either to come down to the forearms, lengthen the back and rest the head, or you can stretch all the way out and release the head. All right, starting to come all the way back up. We want to move back into our downward facing dog here. And let's start to walk the feet towards our hands. As we slowly walk all the way to our hands, our knees are soft, we have hip width distance apart. Let's give ourselves a big hug. Then we're going to inhale, coming into our airplane, keep the knees soft, palms face the floor, reach out back behind us, roll those shoulders back and find a nice flat back, the abs tucked in and lengthen from tailbone to crown. Keep the knees soft, option to hinge to one side and add third warrior as we lengthen that leg out. Toes point towards the ground, heel lengthens all the way out. Our back is flat, hips are side by side. Let's go ahead and release that if we are in warrior 3 with this airplane. We're going to switch sides. Couple breaths as we lengthen back out to the other side. Heel extends. We have length all the way through the back. Hips are side by side. And then slowly release that if you had. Warrior 3. Let's go ahead and release the airplane as we inhale. Keep the flat back. Lengthen all the way up and over. And let's exhale. Palms come together. Hands to heart. As we have hands at heart here, hip width distance apart, let's step one leg back. As we step one leg back, we're setting up for warrior 1. So we're finding our hip width distance apart. The lengthened back leg and toes point at an angle. Hips point forward. Knee ankle alignment, toes point forward. Let's inhale, lengthen up to our warrior 1. Exhale, bring the arms forward down. Then let's inhale, open that other arm all the way up out to the side. Let the hips open, twist till the palms face down. Check in with your knee ankle alignment, making sure it's right there. And then bring the gaze over the fingertips for warrior 2. One more breath in warrior 2. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to lengthen that leg. So now we have 2 lengthened legs. Hips are still open like warrior two. You could bring one hand, the hand behind you, to the hip, and the hand in front of you, let's bring it palm faces upward. Let's stretch and hinge at the hips as we lengthen out forward. Feeling that length all the way through the spine, feeling the stability in the legs. We're going to turn this into triangle. Let's go ahead and release that arm. And remember, we're not using the weight of the torso, the upper body, to press into that leg. So we're trying to use core strength here. As we open the shoulders, open the hips, stacking. And the one hand that's on the hip, you have a choice of bringing it up, lengthening and stacking, or bringing it back behind you towards that other hip. Either position is fine. Let's go ahead and soften that knee that is forward. Bring the other hand back. We're coming into reverse warrior, so bring it all the way back. Keep the hips open. The other palm faces upward. And we're going to reach up as the front knee bends and stacks right above the ankle. And let's exhale. Bring it all the way back down. Let's cartwheel the hands down. We're just going to walk the hands all the way through center. Switching the legs. You might heel toe one of them to the other side so that you still have this hip width distance apart. And then try and bring one to the back leg to an angle, the front leg straight forward, knee ankle alignment, toes forward, hips forward facing as we come into our warrior one. Tucking those abs in, lengthening through the torso, through the arms and hands. Finding our breath and trying to equal out our weight between the legs. Let's go ahead and exhale. Arms coming forward, shoulder width distance apart. Inhale, follow that hand that's opening up all the way back behind us. Then gaze forward, bring the palms face down for warrior two. Check in with that front knee, that it hasn't moved, that it still has ankle, knee alignment. You can see your toes and you're looking over the front fingertips for warrior two. And exhale, we're coming into triangle. So let's bring that hand to the hip, the one behind us. Lengthen that front leg. Reverse the palm facing up for the arms stretched out in front of us. And let's go ahead and start to hinge forward from warrior two. We're hinging and lengthening forward. Now we're going to release that arm all the way down as a guide in front of the leg. And then option to bring the hand either low back, reaching for the hip as we stack the hips and shoulders, or you can bring that arm all the way up for our triangle pose. And remember, we're using torso strength and length to keep the vertebrae lengthened and stacked, hips stacked, shoulders stacked. Start to exhale, soften, bend that front knee. As we do, bring that other arm back behind us again. Front knee is bent. We're still hips open. Let's inhale, palm faces up, reverse warrior as we lift through the arm and the fingertips, palm facing us. Let's exhale, start to release that. Let's bring our feet forward and heel toe back into hip width distance apart. Coming back to the back part of the mat, let's inhale, lengthen the arms up and over. Exhale, palms come to heart center. We're going to hinge back into our chair. So hinging at the hips, hinging at those knees and checking in. We have to see our toes. Knees aren't surpassing our toes. Our glutes are moving back. We have a nice flat back length here. Let's go ahead and open back up. Inhale. Again, exhale, hands to heart, coming back into that chair pose. Remember, inner thighs are tight, knees aren't going out, nor in. They are staying aligned with our hips. Knees are also staying aligned with our ankles. We're not surpassing our toes. Let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen back up. And exhale, this time forward fold, swan dive all the way to the floor. Let's bring our hands down. We're going to walk it back out into our downward facing dog. And let's slowly move into our plank. From plank, we're going to take it into crocodile. So the elbows tuck into the rib cage. Our back stays flat, and we slowly start to release down as the back is flat. Release the feet. We're moving first into baby cobra. So let's inhale, lift the palms of the hands, roll the shoulders back and down, squeeze the scapulas together as we lift through the heart. Now let's press back down. Option to come back into baby cobra on an inhale, or coming up into cobra. Coming up into cobra, you still roll the shoulders back, soften the elbows, heart moves forward, and you can bring the gaze up. One more breath. And let's go ahead and exhale all the way back down. Inhale, coming up into partial plank. And exhale, moving all the way back into a child's pose of your choice. Focusing on the breath here, coming back to focus on our inhales and our exhales. Let's start to make our way back up into all fours. As we come into all fours, let's check our alignment. Let's check to see, do we need extra padding for our knees? Then grab some padding or an extra blanket to put under the knees. If your wrists hurt, we can make fists and tuck the thumbs in. Having a nice flat back, we're going to inhale, drop the spine, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, press the heart forward as the shoulders roll back. We're coming into our cow. As we exhale, we're tucking the abs in, curling the tailbone and the chin, compressing navel to spine as we move into cat. Let's inhale back into cow. And exhale into our cat. Inhale, cow. And exhaling, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Let's inhale, come into a nice flat back. We still want to open up through our back here. So we're going to move into our windmills. We inhale and just lengthen one arm up. Keep knees and hips stacked here. Flat back. Let's exhale and bring it down. Inhale, moving the other arm up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, release. Let's bring it all the way down to the ground now. So coming forward to the front part of the mat. Bringing the glutes all the way down. We're going to tuck our knees in and slowly round our back and allow ourselves to come all the way back. As we come all the way back to our mat, we have a hold of those knees. Let's exhale, draw knees to chest. And inhale, lengthen away. We're still hanging on to the knees, shoulders pressing into the ground here, back pressing into the ground. Feeling a nice stretch. Let's exhale again, knees to chest. And inhale, lengthen away. Exhale, knees to chest. And inhale, release. And as we release, let's bring the soles of the feet all the way down, palms all the way down, heels close to the glutes. Inhale, lifting for bridge pose. And let's exhale and release. Inhale, lift for bridge. And exhale, we release the bridge nice and slow. Inhale, curl the tailbone. Start low, move vertebrae by vertebrae as we lift up for bridge. And as we exhale, vertebrae by vertebrae releases back down, our abs tucked in and releasing back out. Let's go ahead and just inhale, lifting flat back all the way up in bridge. Bring palms underneath, palms face the floor, and exhale, release the glutes and low back right on top of the hands. Draw the knees into chest as we exhale. Let's dorsiflex the feet, so toes towards the shins, heels extended, and inhale, legs up the wall, hip width distance apart. And then take a nice deep exhale and press the back into the floor here. Let's inhale, open for straddle. And exhale, bring it back to hip width distance apart. Inhale, open, straddle. Exhale, bring it back slowly to hip width distance apart. The slower we go, the harder this is. Inhale, slowly open up to straddle. And exhale, slowly coming back to hip width distance apart. Let's go ahead and start to bend the knees, draw them towards the chest. We're going to start to point the toes as we lengthen away into a partial boat. Lengthening all the way away, my toes are pointed, hip width distance apart. And then I'm going to draw back in towards the chest as I exhale, curling the knees back towards the chest. And then I'm going to inhale back into legs up the wall, dorsiflexion. Let's exhale, bend the knees towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen back out into that angle for boat. Point the toes, hip width distance apart. Exhale, draw knees back into chest. Inhale, legs up the wall. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, coming back into that partial boat. Point the toes. Exhale, knees to chest. And let's slowly release soles of the feet all the way back on the ground. Inhale, lift the glutes, bridge pose. Release the arms back out to the side, palms face down. Let's hold another breath here as we come into keeping our bridge pose. And let's go ahead and exhale, release all the way down. As we release down, bring knees towards the chest. Curl the head up towards the knees and gently rock side to side as we have the back rounded. Now slowly start to release here, head, neck, shoulders. Let's open up the hands. Let's bring the palms facing down in our T pose. Find tabletop here. You can add the support of a block. So for our tabletop, we can add support of a block. Squeeze those legs together, or remember a ball, couple inches, 1 to 2 inches above the knees. We're still pressing our back firmly on the floor. Now let's go ahead and start to release the legs to one side. As we do, the top leg, let's just take a moment, extend, and then bend the knee. Extend the leg, and bend the knee. One more time, let's extend through that top leg and bend the knee. Take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, tighten those abs, squeeze the legs back through center, and we're going to come all the way over to the other side. And as we come to the other side, we're going to lengthen that top leg out. And then bend the knee. Inhale, lengthen the top leg out. Exhale, bending the knee. Inhale, lengthen that top leg out. And exhale, bend the knee. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale here. And let's exhale. Tighten those abs. Bring back to center. As we bring back to center, let's remove that block. And let's bring the knees into the chest. And then start to open up for happy baby. So knees are opening for our happy baby here. We have knees open to the side. They're trying to reach the floor beside us, our quads and our knees. We're going to start stacking ankles on top of knees, dorsiflex the feet, and you can grab a hold of the ankles and just maybe slowly rock the lower half of the body, feeling that massage in the low back. So it's like a circular motion that we're just rocking, and then going the other way. And as your back starts to warm up, the body starting to flatten out into the floor. When you're ready, you can come to a still point and have 2 peace fingers around the big toes. Try to keep the head, neck, shoulders back on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale here. Elbows lengthen, and as we exhale, let's soften, bend those elbows, and try and draw knees and quads closer to the floor beside us. Beside each side of the torso. Taking a couple of breaths here. And let's start to extend through the legs into that straddle position best we can. So as we inhale, let's keep a hold of the big toe. Maybe the knees are still soft here, or maybe they're lengthened all the way out. Let's go ahead and exhale back into happy baby, knees bent, quads to the side of us, then to elbows. And let's start to move back out into that straddle pose, where we're just opening and lengthening through the legs. And bringing it back into happy baby. And lengthen back out to straddle. And let's exhale. Start to bring it back to hip width distance apart. We're going to release big toes. Now as we do, let's take one leg, interlace the fingers behind that leg, lengthen through, dorsiflex the toes. The other leg, dorsiflex and lengthen, is going to come all the way down. And it's going to hover about an inch above the ground. We're just barely touching the ground. And then we're going to lift our head, tuck in the abs, bend the elbows, and try and bring our knee closer, or our forehead closer to the knee. Let's go ahead and slowly release the torso, head, neck, shoulders. Lift that leg back up. And we're going to switch sides. So interlace the fingers behind the opposite leg. Start to slowly release the other leg back down. Remember the other leg, as we have a dorsiflexed foot, toes towards the ceiling, we're keeping our abs tight and the heel lengthened up off the floor. So we're just barely above the floor. Now let's go ahead, draw the abs in, lift the head, bend the elbows, and bring the forehead closer to the knee. And let's gently release that. And as we release head, neck, shoulders back on the floor, let's bring that other leg up. Bring both hands behind each leg. And let's exhale, knees come back to chest, releasing that, drawing knees into chest. And let's release one leg down. Sole of the foot comes all the way down. As we do, hands interlace, let's draw the other knee into the chest. And then we're going to take that ankle and set it right above the bent knee, grounded foot. And take the hand on the inside of the inner thigh and press away from us as we feel it opening up through the IT band, and maybe you can feel a little bit on the side there and even in the inside of the leg. And as we release that, we're going to open up the arms gently. And we're going to slowly release that leg, moving the same direction as the foot points and that leg that was stabilized, releasing over to that side. Taking nice deep breaths here. Maybe the other sole of the foot comes all the way down and the knee points up, or maybe we're still lifted a little. Just taking your time with your body and not forcing it. So just using the breath to relax the body into the position. Let's go ahead and exhale, tighten those abs, bring it back up. We're going to release that leg, stabilize the foot, and we're going to draw the other knee now into chest, squeezing tightly. Few deep breaths. Let's go ahead and bend that knee, keep it bent. Ankle comes right above the other knee that is stable. Take that hand to the inner thigh and just press away, opening up all the muscles, keeping the back flat on the floor. And when you're done, you can start to release the hands out to the side. Slowly release the legs to one side. Maybe some of us stop right here and the foot is still lifted. That's fine. Just allow the breath to relax down into it. Some of us may come all the way to the floor and be able to stabilize. Either way, we're just breathing with it, taking our time with our body, allowing it to relax into the pose with each and every breath. One more breath here. And we're going to exhale, tighten those abs. We're going to let that body roll back up. And as we do, we're going to release that knee. Take a nice deep inhale here. Let's exhale, draw knee to chest, both knees. And as we release the head, we're coming back out to that stance where the arms are open. Let's stack knees and hips and slowly release to one side. This time as we release to that side, as the shoulders stabilize here, and we're just twisting through the waist and the hips, we're going to extend through the top leg until that hand over there can reach the top leg. Anywhere along the leg is fine as we lengthen. It could be anywhere along the leg, ankle, feet, or toes. And then we release closer to the floor and just allow the breath to relax the body here. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to release that top leg. Coming back to stacked knees. Tighten those abs. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give ourselves a hug here. Squeezing as we are going to move to the other side. So starting to come back to stability. Release to the other side. Keep shoulders, head grounded. And let's start to extend through that leg. And as we extend, remember that same hand can grab a hold anywhere on that leg, anywhere on the ankle, the foot, or the toes, as we slowly release back down into earth. Finding the breath here. Focusing on the breath to relax and release the muscles. And let's gently start to release. Slowly exhaling. Back to knees bent. We're nice deep inhale, and as we exhale, knees to chest, round the back. Coming back to center here, rocking gently. And now getting ready for Shavasana as we release all the way down. Allow the back to relax. Remember, you can always bring props for your Shavasana. You'll want to be comfortable so that you keep coming back to our meditation. Allow the back to be flat if you need knees bent. Maybe sticking some pillows underneath the legs, allowing the legs to be wide or open. Or you could allow the knees to come inward. The other option is to lengthen all the way through the legs. Let the legs be open, let the feet be open, let the palms be open. Remember, anything that brings you comfort, maybe a towel rolled up behind the neck for support. Now let's move back into our breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. As we inhale and we exhale through the nose, we learn today how to practice Ahimsa, nonviolence, by making conscious effort to rise above the urge to judge, criticize, and compare. Being kind always. Keeping in mind we are all just doing the best we can. Today our meditation focuses on seeing the divine in everyone and everything. We can practice seeing the divine in all things. Being able to perceive beauty in all things, even the things we think are unpleasant or disagreeable. Taking a moment and see things you haven't seen before within what you previously believed to be unpleasant. While each of us appears to be separate individuals, we are truly connected at the level of pure awareness. We can practice seeing, perceiving, and believing the divinity in all life. We are all expressions of the universal consciousness or the infinite field of pure potentiality. When we relate to each other from the level of personality or ego, it is easy to get caught up in the struggle for control, approval, and the need to be right. But when we choose to relate to each other from soul level, we then can experience the expansion of love, compassion, and harmony. This is what the Indian greeting Namaste means. The divine consciousness in me acknowledges the divine consciousness in you. Take a moment and imagine what your life would be like if you began greeting each person that crossed your path in sincere practice of Namaste. Visualize yourself clearly seeing the sacred miracle in every person that you meet, no matter who they are. What would you feel like? What might change in your life? take a moment to ponder this, considering making an agreement with yourself to live this practice of sincere namaste for 1 week and watch your life transform. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. That was by the Dalai Lama. Starting to bring breath awareness back in and out of the nose. And as we bring breath awareness back, let's bring our hands to our abs. And as we bring our hands to our abs, let's inhale and feel the belly expand. And as we exhale, feel the belly sink to the earth. Inhale, feel the belly expand. And exhale, feeling it release. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, let it go. And now that we feel more centered, more aware of our surroundings, we can start by bringing movement back to the hands, back to the legs, to the arms, stretching, maybe taking a nice deep stretch. And when you're ready, slowly releasing. Let's move to the side in our fetal position. And when we're in fetal position, you can take that moment to bring the knees up towards the chest and around the back. And when you're ready, let's press away from the floor using arm and hand strength. So we're pressing away as we lift ourselves back up, not injuring the back. So we use arm strength to bring ourselves up. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. Namaste.